Break the Board Sports. It's your boy RJ Cash. Click that like, hit subscribe. Super Bowl 60. We're on a Monday here, just 6 days away from the big game over in Santa Clara. We got the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots squaring off. Last time these two teams locked up, obviously all the faces and coaches were different, but we hope we get the same thriller. Now, a little bit of line movement. There's some 5.5s in some spots, but 4.5 still over at DraftKings and FanDuel. So it just kind of depends on where you're shopping. The total has settled in pretty much 45.5 across the board. Again, click that like, hit subscribe, go to breaktheboardsports.com, promo code NFL50. You'll get all 10 Super Bowl bets that we're making, along with every play, every sport for less than $1.10 a day. Right now, Seattle getting 66% of the ticket count, 74% of the money. The New England Patriots, 34% ticket count, 26% of the handle. Now, that 45.5, a 60-40 split, 60% of tickets and bets to the over, 40% of tickets and bets going to the under here. Now, so many different ways to attack the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people do some crazy stuff like how long you're going to sing the national anthem, the coin toss, all that stuff, which is really a by chance. When I look at this, I don't want to look at bets like that. I want to look at bets that can actually make you money that you can cash on and get to the window on. And so been going through this and want to look at, because I think there's some phenomenal betting opportunities here for the Super Bowl that you can get to the window on and really monetize your bankroll here when we talk about betting on the Super Bowl and making sure you make money. Now, you also got to remember, this is the one event out of the year that brings out all the squares. So grandmothers are betting on this thing that haven't made a bet all year long. You got a lot of people that don't know anything about either team, and they're going to be making bets. So it's very important that when you look at this, you just look at it for what it is, and that you can't get wrapped up and the line gets really juggled, right? The bet count gets really juggled because there's a lot of people, again, that are going to bet the Super Bowl that haven't bet all year long. So it's going to drive prices up. It's really going to hurt some value. So you got to be very creative about how you go about it, right? One thing that I've always saw, and a key number in Super Bowls, is that under 24.5. Now, this one sets it under 23.5, but under 24.5 get you 14-10. You're still there. Now, both of these defenses stack up, but this line, if you look at the all total, has already went from $1.70 up to $1.95. Well, you don't want to bet that minus $1.95. That really takes away all the value. And this is a tough game. Remember, underdogs have covered 5 straight spreads in the Super Bowl. However, I look at it, and one of the 5 bets I think you absolutely need to make is you do a 2-team parlay. Seahawks on the money line just to win the game. They're the better team. They have the better players. And right now, their defense is just better. Them taking down the Rams really said a lot to me. I've been Sam Darnold's biggest critic. But when you look at the Seattle money line with the alt total under 24.5, you don't want to lay minus 235 with the Seahawks. You don't want to lay minus 195 or $2 under 24.5. But if you put them both together, it gives you plus 120. I think that's a great bet that you need to make in the Super Bowl. That is one of those that is going to absolutely cash. Second bet that I want to look at is I want to look at the quarterbacks here. And when we talk about pass completions, now, one thing is Sam Darnold has been lighting it up. And again, I've been his biggest critic. And I hope now that I hop onto him, he doesn't go and have his worst game. Now, this New England defense really stuffs the run. They're really good against the run, and we know how good Seattle's running offense is. But I think this is a game where Sam Darnold really, look, Smith and Jigba, he's been uncoverable, right? So you know he's going to end up with 4, 5, 6 catches at a minimum. Cooper Kupp, you know he's going to get his hands on the ball twice. They're going to hit Shaheed once, right? So as it starts to stack up, not that it needs to be for a lot of yardage, but I love Sam Darnold over 19.5 completions minus $1.20. Listen, I think this is absolutely a game, like worst case scenario, you're looking at it at the end of the game, and Sam Darnold's like 21 of 28 for like $1.70. It doesn't even have to be yardage. Just the over 19.5 completions, I just feel like that's a really good spot. It's something that Sam Darnold can absolutely get to the window on. So over 19.5 is something I'm going to be playing. And again, I think it's one of those bets when we look back at it and we say, man, that's one of those ones that should have bet. I have that as a bet over 19.5. So over 19.5 completions, and then the money line parlay with the Seahawks money line and the under 24.5 alt total. I think those are bets that you absolutely have got to make. Now, when you look in more for your Super Bowl props, right? And again, there's so many props out there that you really got to kind of narrow them down. You don't want to have 50, 60 bets on the boards. That's just really going to muddy the waters. And it's really going to make it hard to cash when you're going down through here, trying to make bets, trying to say, okay, where's the value at for each and everything. One thing I look at, and I think you got to absolutely play, and again, it's only minus $1.30, is more over 2.5 players to throw a pass. So you're locked in with Darnold and you're locked in with Drake Maye, but both Kubiak and Josh McDaniels are absolutely known for being able to come up with some crazy things here as far as getting somebody involved in throwing an extra pass. And when I looked at that, I'm just like, man, over 2.5 and only having to lay $1.30, I think that's extremely good value there. When you look at this game, especially when you're looking at the two offensive coordinators, like I said, these guys, they come up with these trick plays, running back passes, wide receiver passes, all that stuff. I think that's something absolutely is live. So that is a bet that I think everybody should make. The next one is I want to go to the kickers, right? I want to go to the kickers. And again, I know this is a high line, but minus 190, Seattle to make 2+ field goals. Listen, they got one of the best kickers in the business. I think he absolutely gets you to the window on this. I also like Ryan to have more points, Seattle's kicker to have more points than New England's kicker. That's minus $1.40. Again, I can see Seattle. I think Seattle's going to be able to drive the ball a whole lot more than New England. Now, Patriots have been really good at bending, but not breaking, right? So, again, I think field goals are absolutely a place here when you look at that you're going to be able to monetize your bets and get to the window here in this game. The other thing is I want to look at some of your more popular props, right? Here. And I think a guy that, obviously Walker, just an absolute beast, right? He's been there all year long. And again, you may have to put this with the Seattle Seahawks when you talk about getting this to the window. But I really like Kenneth Walker's touchdown. Look, that the Seattle Seahawks are going to get down there inside the 10-yard line. Walker to score a touchdown with the Seattle Seahawks to win the game, minus 102. So I like that. I like Sam Darnold over 19.5 completions there, minus $1.20. I like Seahawks kicker to have more points than the Patriots kicker. That's minus $1.40. I know it's high, but I like Seahawks 2+ field goals, minus $1.90 in this. I also think you have to have, again, some credence when you look at the over 19.5 completions for Sam Darnold. I just absolutely love that one. I think it gets to the window. We got Seahawks with Kenneth Walker to score a touchdown. That two-leg parlay rather, minus 102. RJ Cash, Break the Board Sports. I hope you have a great Super Bowl, and let's cash some tickets. Whether you fade or follow, I hope you win your bets. God bless, and happy handicap.